For years now, we've had the same 2D Mario experience with New Super Mario Bros. This series started off on a very high note. It gave us what we loved about the original Super Mario Bros. In a brand new style with brand new worlds, enemies, and even bosses, and then it just kind of went downhill. Every game was just another Bowser Jr. or Koopaling fight, and the same themes that we've seen over and over and over again. You know, it was pretty much ideally the same game, and people are really getting sick of the new Super Mario Bros. Series. With that said, we are now moving on to possibly a brand new style of 2D Mario. Apparently with these new rumors, this next 2D Mario is going to be something different from New Super Mario Bros. And going to have an art style that quote unquote will surprise people. So I don't know what this is going to look like or even play like, but I've had an idea for a very long time of how to make Mario so dynamic in the 2D space. And that's to use Cappy. Now, I know, it's a crazy idea because Cappy belongs to Super Mario Odyssey, but what if Nintendo wanted to expand on this game more than just a 3D platformer? Cappy is such a vital part to Mario's moveset in that game, I can't stop thinking about what a 2D Mario game would look like if Mario had the ability to capture enemies in that game as well. Now, I had this idea about a year ago, and I actually made a Mario Maker 2 themed video off of it, and a lot of people loved that video. The whole idea was having a brand new playstyle of Super Mario Odyssey, where different kingdoms could have been the different themes, and then Mario simply using his hat, throwing it, and even bouncing off of it in the 2D plane, and obviously capturing enemies within this 2D environment would have been really cool as well, and opened up many different puzzles that you could have included in this game. I think this would be a great idea for the next 2D Mario game. Now imagine all this time we've been waiting for Super Mario Odyssey 2, when in reality they were making a Mario Odyssey 2D game spin-off, which would be really cool. Imagine a Mario Odyssey game with a subtitle, but it's completely in 2D. Putting away Cappy's capture ability for a second and just talking about Mario's moveset would be amazing. Now let's just say obviously it's not going to be a Mario Odyssey related 2D game, but Mario having these moves and abilities in a 2D space would be awesome. Imagine being able to dive and roll really fast down hills or up hills, and run real fast and go into triple jumps and backflips and stuff that you could do in the 3D games. That would be amazing, and seeing that in a 2D space would give the players more options when speedrunning the level or getting through the game entirely. But honestly, it is the capture ability that makes this really stand out. Being able to capture enemies in a 3D space was obviously amazing, but doing it in 2D I think would be equally as cool. Imagine you're a Goomba, and the whole mission of that stage is to get through like a Goomba base, where a whole bunch of Goombas think that, you know, you're one of them. You have to walk with them and follow them in line without messing up. That would be really, really cool. Or imagine you turn into a bullet bill, and you have a 2D section where maybe this time you can move up and down as well, which will allow you to get through like a 2D maze where there's different walls and stuff that you have to go up over or down under. Maybe you have to be an uproot and push your way through a maze like you did in Steam Gardens. Or maybe you're a Gushin or a lava bubble and you have to make your way through a water area or a lava one. Now doing all these would be really great and having these capture options, but the problem is, yeah, it would feel a lot just like a 2D Odyssey. I know a lot of people want to see something new for Mario, so outside of these captures, what else could Nintendo do to make this feel fresh and new for the series? I will forever use Tropical Freeze as my 2D game design template. It is the best 2D platformer I have ever played and one of the best Nintendo games ever. There is so much love and care brought into each and every single level, and every level has its own theme and design. But not only that, it sometimes doesn't even feel all like a 2D game. It has 2.5D sections where the camera pans out, and even sections where Donkey Kong's doing different things in the foreground and the background, just like he did in Donkey Kong Country Returns. There's so many secrets and extras jam-packed into this 2D world, sometimes it feels a lot more 3D than it does 2D because the background is so accessible as well. That's why I really want to see Mario kind of utilizing a little bit of the background and the foreground, such as going up ladders or maybe different objects moving in and out of the foreground and background to kind of make this 2D world feel a little bit 2.5D, which would work really great for Mario. I think there also needs to be more things that Mario can do in a 2D space. I feel like it's always just Mario platforming, but like if you take Donkey Kong for instance, there's different objects and obstacles and vehicles that you can ride. For instance, there's the mine carts, where sometimes you can even switch rails in a 3D plane like you could in Tropical Freeze, and there's even the rocket barrels, which allows you to fly through the air up and down and stuff, and I think there needs to be more stuff like this. Maybe Mario gets his cart or something like we saw in Mario Maker 2, where there's actually a cart in the 3D world style. Something like that would just make a lot of sense. I think it would also be cool if they just took a completely different approach entirely. One of my favorite 2D Mario games is actually not really a 2D Mario game at all. It's a Paper Mario game that's technically based on an adventure RPG, but at the same same time, it plays just like any 2D Mario game, but with more explorative aspects. This time it's not focused on hardcore platforming and getting from one area to the next. It's really about exploring the area around you, finding clues and secret objects in order to help you progress through the level. It was a world to explore, not just a world to platform on. And what would be really awesome is if we also had like NPCs and different characters spread out throughout the levels that were not just enemies. Maybe characters could interact with Mario and his friends and talk to you, and maybe you can purchase stuff off of them, or maybe you have to complete side objectives and side quests while you're in the stage. This kind of reminds me of the Shantae games as well. But whatever this game is going to play like, they definitely need to change how the boss battles work, because goodness gracious, I cannot step on another switch to drop Bowser in lava in my life. I am done with that. Please give us unique bosses. I mean, the very first new Super Mario Bros. Game on the DS actually had unique enemies, like a giant mummy Pokey, and also Petey Piranha appearing, and also like a giant Lakitu shooting lightning strikes out of the sky. Like, that stuff was so cool. What happened to the variety? Now it's just a constant barrage of boom boom fights and Bowserlings. Like, it's just not that fun, especially when all their attacks are ideally the same. It's just different types of projectiles they shoot out of their wands. This just isn't that fun, and I think it's just a whole matter of jumping on their head, and as soon as they get out, jumping on their head again. Just jumping on any enemy's head is just not as fun as it used to be in the old days, I feel like. They need to find a new way for Mario to attack enemies, and just come up with some creative ways for him to take them down in a 2D plane. They definitely can do it. I just feel like they're not even trying. I feel like most of their assets go into the level design and everything else, and when it comes down to the boss battles at the end of each world, it's just kind of like, you know what, here's like an easy whatever. Like, let me just throw them something easy so they can move on to the next world. They need to spend time working on these boss battles and fleshing them out, because they should be exciting to reach at the end of the level, not dreadful. I think the next 2D Mario game just needs a lot of effort put into it, something that you would see within a 3D Mario game. The development team needs to really dig deep and see what makes Mario fun in a 2D space, give him a fun, easy, accessible moveset, and make the environments somewhat unique and memorable. I mean, at the end of the day, it just seems like every new Super Mario Bros. Game has the exact same environments. You're gonna get your grassland, your desert, your jungle, your snowland, your rock mountain, you know, it's the same stuff. Switch it up. Make this kind of wacky and weird. The same way you had the wacky and weird kingdoms like the Luncheon Kingdom from Super Mario Odyssey, do the same thing with the 2D Mario games. Well, whatever this 2D Mario game is, whether it's real or not real, includes Cappy or doesn't include Cappy, or has unique stages and designs, I just hope it's not new Super Mario Brothers. That's my only wish. Make it something new, make it unique. Let us see something different and start a brand new series with the 2D Mario games, because right now, 2D Mario isn't the best 2D game from Nintendo. In fact, I still think Yoshi and even Donkey Kong is a lot better than what 2D Mario is doing right now. And that's where Mario started, in the 2D space. So hopefully we'll see a huge upgrade in 2D Mario. And of course, we're just gonna have to wait and see if this rumor is true. But let me know in the comments down below what you want to see from the next 2D Mario game. Do you want to see something completely different, or do you love New Super Mario Brothers and want to see another one? Hopefully you don't, because I'm tired of it. I'm sure you are too. But let me know your ideas down below, and thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things Mario Brothers and Nintendo in general, and I will be sure to see you on the next one. See you guys.